Hello, friends! All right, it's that time of year again that we need to make a countdown for Christmas. So instead of making one out of paper like I normally do, this year I'm going to go ahead and make one that we can reuse year after year. All right, let's get started. First things first, we need to get some felt, and this is how I'm gonna make it glitter, because what's more Christmassy than glitter? So all I'm doing here is taking some gold HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl, and it is the glitter version, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get some coordinating yellow felt. This is my gold color, and then we're gonna go ahead and iron it on. So I am using my Cricut mini iron. A large iron would work great, or a heat press, but for today, I'm just using this little guy, and honestly, it still really works great. So you're gonna do the shiny side face up because the glue is on the bottom of that glitter. All right, I am using a heat-safe surface on top of my glitter HTV. You can use parchment paper, tea cloth, anything. This just kind of helps protect everything from kind of overheating a little bit. So this part's a little bit tedious, and this is where I would say a heat press iron or a larger iron would work great, so you're not having to work in such small sections. But needless to say, this still worked, and I loved how it turned out. All right, once you have the whole thing ironed, you're just gonna gently peel off that top layer of plastic and just double check that everything's still tacked down really well. If you see anything kind of bubbling up, just grab your iron and go over it one more time, not a big deal. Isn't it? It's so beautiful. I love how much the glitter just adds so much to the felt, and since it's one piece now, it just makes it so much more fun. I like to just go over it one more time just to make sure that it is all on there nice and solid and get really good adherence. Just keep in mind too, you're not gonna wash this felt, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. If you're doing any HTV work on fabric that you're gonna wash, you definitely wanna make sure that it has lots of pressure and adheres well, but not a huge deal in the felt. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and cut a cute little star on my Cricut Maker 3. So I have an SVG for this on my website for free if you wanna go snag that. It's super cute, it's just a funky looking little star. And this is gonna be our topper for our countdown rings. Watch me cut, boom, isn't she cute? All right, so next. We're gonna go ahead and cut some strips. So I am cutting my strips at 9 inches long and an 1.5 inches wide. So I had already cut all my felt at 9 inches wide to make it kind of easier. So now I'm just cutting strips at 1.5 inches wide. Then next, the fun part is to grab all your different colors that you want to cut. So I used a just different combination of pinks, blues, reds, and obviously the cute little gold, just to make a fun, different little combination. We are definitely team bright color Christmas at our house and not so much the red and greens. So I just went ahead and added a bunch of different fun little colors, some pinks, blues. So again, this is 9 inches wide, and we're gonna go ahead and cut a bunch of strips at 1.5 inches. And then you can obviously use whatever colors you want, but the key is you want 25 strips. And boom, we have all of our strips cut. And again, I cut 25, so that way on Christmas Day, you still get to take that last one off, but you can do 24, so that way the next day it's like, woohoo, there's Christmas. All right, next I'm gonna use some fabric Velcro. So this has hook and loops on both sides, but the stickiness on there is totally meant for fabric, and that's why I love using it, because it really adheres really well to the felt, and it's pretty darn sturdy. So next we're gonna go ahead and grab one of our yellow strips. This does not have any glitter on it because I'm just matching kind of the back of the star, and we're just gonna glue this one starting off onto our star, and this is gonna be kind of like our starting loop that you're really not gonna see, but it's gonna just be there to start holding all your other chains. So keep in mind too that I did say 25 strips. I meant 26, so that way you can have one on the back of your star. I just added some more glue, and I'm just gonna flip it over and glue this back on there to make our first loop on the back of our star. Ta-da! We have our topper, and we're ready to start going. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and take our Velcro, and we're gonna start making little tiny squares. So it starts out coming that they're not combined, like the hook side and the loop side. So what I like to do is I match them up first and kind of push them all together so that the two sides are adhered to each other. And then I'm just gonna cut out little squares, and you're gonna do 25 of these squares. And really, it doesn't quite matter how big your squares are. You don't want them huge, but you don't want them too small, because you wanna make sure the more stickiness that's hitting your felt, the better it's gonna last and the longer it's gonna last. Nice sturdy scissors and cut 25 squares. Also, keep in mind, my scissors definitely got gummed up from all the adhesive, so a little bit of rubbing alcohol on your scissors will definitely clean that all up. All right, so the next step is we're gonna start grabbing some strips. We're gonna remove the paper backing on our Velcro and just stick it to one side, peel off the other side, and then we're gonna loop around the bottom to make a little chain or circle or kind of like a bracelet. Anywho, I'm going to smush that glue into the felt really, really well on each one of our loops. And we're just gonna go ahead and repeat the same step all 25 times. Now is also a good time to go ahead and make sure that you like and subscribe this video, and be sure to hit that notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos, because I love making stuff and I love having you follow along. So be sure to hit all of those little doodads so that you can follow along too. Go ahead and check out the free SVG of the star on my website. And while you're there, check out all the other wonderful flower SVGs that you can snag too. Ta-da! All the loop-de-loop chains are done, and let's go ahead and assemble this super cute Christmas chain. We're just gonna go ahead and un-Velcro all of our loops. I know we just Velcroed them all crazy, but go ahead and unloop all of them and re-loop them into your chain. I am going in kind of like a random order, but obviously you use whatever colors that you want, and then you go in whatever order you want. If you wanted a pattern, or add the kids in and let them kind of design what colors and what order they want to do it. I think it would be super cute too if you did have some other HTV that you could sit there and cut out a bunch of little numbers, and you can even throw some numbers on each chain so they can count along, or your kiddos can just count as they go. Be sure to check out my website as well, as I have a huge selection of felt sheets that you can purchase and create this on your own. So thank you so much for following along. We're just gonna go ahead and do this last little loop-de-loop chain, and here she is in all of her glory. Isn't she so cute? I just love this project so much because every year we end up making one of these out of paper, and my children just love counting down all the days till Christmas, which totally helps my mom's sanity when they're asking me every single day, how many more days, how many more days? And I'm like, go check the countdown. So now we have this beautiful countdown that they can do and use and reuse every single year. Love it. Thank you so much for following along. And if you didn't subscribe earlier and like this video, go ahead and do that now. And here I am again, just finishing this one off. And I'm just going to add a little bit of twine and looped it in our very first loop so that we can hang it on our wall. Thanks, guys, and Merry Christmas.